Investing in your brain is always a high yield return because your brain is your most important asset, right? It returns better than real estate or the stock market. If you're an entrepreneur, 10x the value of that return because there are no barriers between your brain and your results. Listen, Jess, I've spent the time investing in business coaching, investing in automating my current business so that it has enough systems to run on its own. And now I'm ready. I'm ready to help these new women. What do you think? You'll have to take it to the board. Okay, yes, Jess, I do have to take it to the board. Okay, I checked with the other Jesses. We concur. You're savvy as f***. I'm confident you know you're ready. Go for it. Sweet. Investment well spent.
Welcome to Sincerely Future You, a podcast that helps ambitious women like you make decisions today with the future you in mind.
Welcome to Sincerely Future You. If it's your first time listening to the show, I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Jess McKinley Wayno. I am an uber transparent business owner. I had a very unremarkable, floundering series of businesses that evolved from about 2014 until now. And through a series of what we call failure collection here on the show, I've taken my business from working around the clock to make about 0 to 18K. I don't know if you're listening and you're in that early phase of your business, if you're like, yep, that's me, to working now 3 days a week for multiple six figures. During that time, I also navigated a divorce, figuring out co-parenting, sorting out my own finances, and then finding a new definition of what my dream life looked like. Most recently, buying a house, getting remarried to my dream partner, who's been on the show a couple of times, and also had my daughter. I'm telling you all of this to remind you that all podcasters, all of the podcasts that you know and love and listen to in the personal development or in that expert space, we're all figuring it out as we go too. Even the shows that pretend that they know all of the answers, they're in the process of the level that they're at. So the way the show works is, yes, I'm going to teach you the parts of business that I've mastered, certain CEO systems, money psychology, reverse engineering goals. But most importantly, you're going to hear the truth about what's working and what's not working as it's happening in my business. There's a reason why people think of their mentors as different from them, as up on a different level. And that's because they usually only see their mentors when they're on the other side of the results, not during the part where they, just like you, are experimenting. So buckle up because I'm going to take you on a ride behind the scenes with me. I'm going to share the numbers, the math, the investment, which we'll talk about for your business today. And thank you, as always, for taking the time today to hang with me and future you. Let's dive in. So here's what we've got for you today. We're going to start with our weekly hype sesh, and we're going to give you that tough love talk that you come here for, as always, and especially if you're new. We don't use this hype sesh, this tough love, as a way to beat yourself down, okay? You only use it to inspire and motivate you. You're going to borrow my belief in you because that's what it is. That's where the tough love comes from. It comes from me having access to future you. Okay, I know what she's capable of. I know what she's accomplished, what she's done, where she's gone. Okay, it's your time to get hype right now. And then we're going to give a quick shout out to the listener of the week. And then we're going to chat Investing 101 for entrepreneurs. Finally, you have been asking for that. Then we're going to give you a quick update about the ways that you can apply this if you're looking to take this work to the deeper level and what's happening in Sincerely Future You, the coaching practice, and what's coming up on the docket here. And then we're going to sign off and you can go on your way to go take all of this wisdom, whatever lands with you, and just apply it to your life today. Okay, ready for the hype? Let's go. Are you beating yourself up for being exactly where you're supposed to be? I don't know if is you. Let's check in. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but if you are setting goals, if you're making plans and you're showing up to those plans, and the only thing that's happening is that the results just aren't where you want them to be yet, nothing has gone wrong. You are not wrong. Okay, you just need to let the math catch up with your vision. For lack of a more urban metaphor, entrepreneurship is a long and winding road. And there are very few shortcuts in this business that won't rob you of the learning you'll need somewhere down the road in your business. So, whatever very specific and tedious predicament you're solving for in this moment, I'm here to tell you it is valuable. Exactly this annoying thing that you're digging through right now, it's an essential brick that will layer into that epic skyscraper that you're building in your business empire. It is a problem that is so separate from you, it is not even funny, okay? It's a problem that once solved, it's going to go into your data bank that will later inform you to create an incredible tool or a system or a policy that's going to make your business high level. Do you want a high level business, high level delivery? You have to be willing to run your client through 10 subpar journeys before you know what a luxury or efficient client journey looks like for your business. Do you want high level branding? Solve for the problem of what vocab sounds like me. Test out being friendly, test out being an authority, test out being technical or aspirational. Take notes when your clients say ooh and ah. And also take notes when they don't pay attention. Because listen, you will not be able to stop and skip through the part where you suck. You're going to suck at some things, and that's a part of the game. We talk about this every week. You signed up for this. You signed up for this game, and you better believe that exactly where you're at right now is exactly where you're supposed to be, okay? So, like I said, you're not going to be able to solve for a damn thing when you're busy making any of these very normal, very necessary business problems mean that there is something wrong with you. There isn't, sweetness. Okay? Now we're going to shout out our listener of the week, Kay Ferreira 93. She says, I listen in the car between appointments and I have found them really helpful. Her way of helping me make actionable change goes above and beyond any other. While she approaches new concepts, she starts from a place of understanding in a way that allows you to show up open to her advice and result making strategies without shame for making mistakes in the past. Didn't we just talk about this? I was just talking about this, right? That failure collection, it's a part of the game. I agree, Kay Ferreira. She really breaks it down so that it's digestible and sheds light by explaining her own past experiences, why they didn't work in the past, and how she's now using these methods, ensuring them to work, not only for herself, but for her clients. It can help you and your own business at any stage of growth with policies that meet your needs and values. I'm so thankful to have this as a resource. And I'm so grateful that you are showing up and using this resource, because I can't even tell you how many people listen to the podcast and they're like, ooh, that was inspired, but they don't take it one step further. So rock on, Kay Ferreira. I'm so glad to hear that you're applying this to your business, and hopefully that you will update us again to say what specific results you're getting from applying that process. So now let's dive into the topic today. So when I talk about money, I talk about the 6 ways that we engage with money. That's earning, spending, saving, investing, having, and giving. And over on Instagram, and if you're not following me over there, come over where the party's at Jess McKinley Wayno. I'd love to connect with you listeners all the time. And I put up a poll asking you guys, where do you want to hear more of when it comes to money? And it was actually a resounding yes to investing. And I realized that I actually don't talk about investing too much on the show, other than talking about the importance of investing directly into your business in terms of coaching, in terms of your brain, in terms of skills, training, hiring, all of that. But I haven't really talked about investing for money gains. We're going to talk today about the big 3 that I always talk about, right? Time, money, and mindset, and all of those basic investments that you should be making in your business if you are an entrepreneur. So let's start with the investing for money gains. Because if you are new to the show and you just saw Investing 101 for entrepreneurs, that's probably what you're here for, right? That's what you're expecting. Investing, we know, is often built into corporate jobs where an HR rep will help you set up a 401k. But entrepreneurs, we just don't have that luxury. We got to do it ourselves. And we're not going to take any time to just be victimy about that. I wish there was someone that set it up for us. No, you're the boss. We can do this. We've got this. But I get that sometimes it can be really overwhelming. It's no sweat. There's tons of ways to invest as an entrepreneur, but I'm going to talk about two basic ones here so that if you're doing nothing because you're overwhelmed or intimidated, you can get started today. Now, some of you guys who listen to the show are already are working a side business, and you still also do have a business that provides you benefits, or maybe you're in a partnership or a marriage where your partner has a traditional 401k. So definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of that, especially if you're still working for an organization that does matching. But here, what we're going to be talking about is a little bit oversimplified for the purpose of this episode, because I wrote this episode several times. I had conversations with my husband. We talk about investing a lot over here, and we have very different strategies that we like to use, but sometimes it can get a little bit deeper and more complex. And I wrote things, I edited it out, and I just am giving you the simplest, most layman's term for people that get a little bit like, ooh, my eyes glaze over. And then I'm like, it's too much. It's beyond me. And they do nothing. This is so that you can start doing something. So if you're already doing something, you might find some of this to be rudimentary. That's on purpose. But it's a good check in for yourself to say like, okay, am I already doing all of these things? If so, great. Investing, the reason it can be overwhelming is it sounds complicated, but the good news is the safest way to win in the market is also the easiest way. So for our purposes, we're going to discuss the easiest path to being an inevitable millionaire. My guest Scarlett talked about this when she was on here, being an inevitable millionaire. And this is a part of what she does and what I teach my clients, and also just advise my family and friends to do as well. And that's spending time in the market instead of spending time trying to time the market. In other words, set money to automatically go into an investment account regularly and for a long time. Continue to contribute whether we're in a recession or a boom. Timing the market, or what some people call day trading or trading, is what makes things complex. There are traders and financial advisors that will tell you that they have insights into what specific stocks you should buy and sell and when. This is called trading. This is not investing. This is gambling. And good news, you don't need to know anything about trading or gambling to become a millionaire. In fact, we're going to just avoid it altogether. Conservatively, the stock market as a whole will yield about an 8% return. And actually, if we're looking over the last 100 years, it's actually more like a 10% average return. So instead of guessing which stocks you should buy and when, and having to spend all of this time researching and understanding, we're going to invest in the whole market. Here's how you do it. Step 1, you're going to choose a financial institution. Chase, Fidelity, Vanguard, those are some great basic starters, and open an investment account. So step 2, you need to decide if this investing is for future you. So that means retirement or post age 59 and a half, or money you want to access sooner. So maybe investment for a house down payment, or maybe you're a little bit older and you want to invest money that you're making right now, but you have a kid that's going to be going to college in the next 10 years and you won't be 59 and a half yet, right? So this is what you need to decide. So if it's for retired you, you're going to choose a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. And that's going to depend on how much taxable income you're reporting. As of 2023, you'll choose a Roth IRA if you're reporting less than 228K of combined earnings with your spouse or partner, or 153K if you're filing single. Like I said, if you make more than that, you're going to choose a traditional IRA. Again, this is an oversimplified solution. So if you are a little bit further along, or if you do, have a financial advisor, or you are speaking with someone, you might know about a SEP IRA, or there's actually a 401k for small business owners. However, I didn't want to get too complex here. I want to get you investing, because future you's biggest wish is that you started investing yesterday. And you don't want to put this off. If you're driving, pull over and put it on your calendar to do this. If you're home, sit down at your computer and go to fidelity.com or another institution and get started. Okay. Step 3, you're going to put your money into a total market index fund. This is what it's called when you want to invest in the whole market instead of trying to speculate and beat the market. Diversifying in this way, in this case, diversifying totally to the whole market, decreases your risk. Although, of course, the market will fluctuate according to the economy. So you might feel like, oh, but there's risk. We don't know. Are we going into a recession? Is this now the time? Yes, it's always the time, because historically, with enough time, if you are planning this for retirement, the market will always end up an average of 8 to 10% gains. And this can equal a lot of money when you start now and you're doing it consistently. The difference between waiting to invest and starting now, and I'm not saying what age you're at. It's never too late to start, right? It can make a difference of hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, depending on how you're investing. And it doesn't actually even have to be a ton of money that you're investing. It just means early and consistently. We call this the power of compound interest. Now, I said I'd give you 2 options. So that's option 1 to get started investing. But if you aren't sure what or the amount you're ready to invest, some of these do have a minimum starting balance or a minimum investment. You can do the bare minimum. And that would look like downloading a robo-advisor app like Acorns. For $3 a month, you can invest as little as 25 cents in roundups on purchases. And even this will add up if you start today. You can set up your account, and then as you start to get more familiar with it, you can set a weekly investment app. You can get it going and invest $5 a week. I don't care. Start somewhere. Future you and I beg you. Okay. Now let's talk about investing for time gains, because investing isn't just about money. On this show, we always talk about those 3 parts of being a masterful CEO, not just of your big business, but of your big life. And whether you're just thinking about starting a business or you're years into that business, you want to ask yourself, always with investing, how is this decision improving my relationship with my money, my time, and my mind? If I make this investment, like spend this today, how will it add value to future me? And it's a constant balance between making investments that'll stack that cash and give you back time to spare so that you can actually enjoy the life that you are. When people say it's not all about the money, the only thing that I really think they're trying to say is that if you're just working for money and then you're not spending the time or the money on living the life that is most meaningful to you, then the money really doesn't matter. Okay. Money matters, but it only matters when we're thinking about our whole life. Okay. So there are undoubtedly ways in which paying for time ends up making or saving you money in the long run as well. So here is a starter of the highest returning time yield investments that I recommend you thinking about as an entrepreneur. Hiring staff, training staff, delegating personal things. So this might look like, for me, if I am making sure that I am living my biggest life and I have the balance, and you have not yet gotten to that phase in your business where you are showing up to it consistently, where you're having that, last week we talked about the relationship with yourself as the CEO, or you're not treating yourself like that yet. Have you delegated personal things so that you're able to focus and have that whole relationship, not just with your time, not just with your kids, but also with the life that sets an example for your kids, the life that you have outside of your kids that ultimately reflects down and trickles down to showing your kids what's possible for you and for a life. Amazing. investing in a software that saves you time. So a couple of years ago, I was in the process of scaling my one-on-one coaching practice, and I had pretty consistently, I would get like 4 or 5 clients, and then 1 or 2 would leave, and then I'd get like 3 more, and then and I was like tapering off around 6. And then I invested in a coach myself, and very quickly I went from 6 clients to about 12 clients. And I was like, whoa, my goal was to get to 20 clients. That's what I had decided, because we just are guessing with our goals, was fully booked. But at 12, I was like, oh my gosh, like I am losing time. At night, I was up super late editing things and figuring out marketing. And I was like, I can't keep up with the notes and the journals for my clients and the emails. So what I did was I invested in this program called Coach Accountable. It's a CRM, which basically it manages all of the communication that you're using with your business. So for me, it's where my clients, all of their actual coaching lives. It's where I deliver them their services. It's also where they schedule appointments on the calendar and where all of that goes out. It's also where I deliver invoices and create the offers. I can also send emails with my branding directly through. It is just a one-stop shop. And I was worried and nervous about the investment at first, because I was thinking, okay, I'm investing money. Is it going to return back money? But essentially, immediately, it was going to return back time. And while time can create money, for me, I just wanted time for my life. I didn't want to lose my life. And as soon as I did it, I immediately was like, what was I waiting for? I was able to scale from 12 all the way to 20, actually went to 21 and was like, whew, again, lost my time, wasn't the priority before I scaled to group coaching. And that investment in my business was super, super clearly the right decision, because it's not just about those money gains, it's also about the time gains. So a high quality question here when you're asking, should I invest in a time gain investment, is what is the cost benefit analysis of investing versus waiting? Because you could also justify waiting kind of forever, right? I know people do that with coaching with me. They're like, okay, I don't know, I really need to make sure I have X amount in my bank account, or I have everything in order, or I'm not at such a crazy time in my life before they invest in coaching. And that is fine. Sometimes it's the right call, sometimes, but I don't think that usually people are asking themselves the question in this way, which is, what's the cost benefit analysis, not just of investing, what's it going to cost you, but what is it going to cost you if you wait? And the way that you answer this question will tell you whether it's a smart or a timely, the right time to investment. And then finally, let's talk about those investments that we make for mind gains. Investing in your brain is always a high yield return, because your brain is your most important asset, right? It returns better than real estate or the stock market. If you're an entrepreneur, 10x the value of that return, because there are no barriers between your brain and your results. You're the boss. You determine how quickly you apply what you know to getting results. Let me check, Jess. I think I'm ready to launch another offer for a different group of people, not just business owners, but aspiring business owners. Listen, Jess, I've spent the time investing in business coaching, investing in automating my current business so that it has enough systems to run on its own. And now I'm ready. I'm ready to help these new women. What do you think? I'll have to let you know. You'll have to take it to the board. Okay. Yes, Jess, I do have to take it to the board. Okay, I checked with the other Jesses. We concur. You're savvy as fuck. I'm confident you know you're ready. Go for it. Sweet. Investment well spent. This is how the conversation goes when you are an entrepreneur and you're the boss. And so investing in your brain, you don't have to just like wait like you do if you are working in a corporation and you're like, I'm going to get my MBA. And then you're like, okay, I got my MBA. I'm thinking I'm ready for a raise. And they're like, well, we'll tell you what that MBA is worth to us. And maybe it is an additional 5K or 10K or even 20K when you invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You want to make sure that your return on your investment is going to happen. And when you're doing it for mind gains, that's always a smart investment. So very specifically, here's a good checklist. Again, my favorite investment for those mind gains. Number one, mindset coaching. Also very different from business coaching, which my offer is a hybrid of both, but I recommend investing in both. If you're an entrepreneur, masterminds, slightly different as well. It's where you're investing in going into a space with other people that are high level thinkers that you're going to have access to. So it's basically investing in that network with a specific goal. Investing in skills trainings for yourself, skills trainings for your team, certifications, investing in wellness retreats, investing in silence and giving yourself that space for your brain to really like have those creative ideas come to the surface, investing in therapy, investing in team building exercises and high level speakers, access to that. So those are just a rundown of some of my favorite investments that are less tangible, but yield such a high rate of return. So for me, I've invested in the last year in all three ways, both for mind gains, time gains, and money gains. And I'll end up saying that when you invest in one, it affects the other two, usually. Although when you invest in just purely money gains without the time and the mind gains, you can lose sight of what is important in your business. So that is just the final thing that I wanted to say to you as you are making your decisions about what investments you're going to make in this next quarter or this next year. And speaking of investments, okay, a brief update on what's coming up in the world of Sincerely Future You. The splash pad is here. I'm going to give you that behind the scenes that I was talking about. I've been tabling this offer for aspiring business owners or newbie business owners for a while because a new offer always means there's just a shit ton of things to test, right? And if you've listened to episode number 164, I have very specific policies for myself and for my clients for when it makes sense to sell more than one offer at a time. I wanted to make sure I was meeting certain metrics for client delivery, meaning my coaching clients were pacing to hit their goals, period. I wanted to sell out the room at 15. And I wanted to have all of the marketing emails for my other offer. It took me 3 rounds of selling happening sessions, now called the Masterful CEO School. And I've been bursting at the seams creatively as I finally said yes to myself, creating this epic offer for people who need those business basics. So if you aren't sure if you're ready for the Masterful CEO School, but you're somewhere in the middle and you're not really sure whether the splash pad is going to be too basic for you because you have had a business for a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's quite where you want it to be, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to offer a hop, skip, and a jump where you can come into the splash pad, apply it all summer, and if you feel ready to move up into the September class and it's not yet sold out, I'll credit the investment into the splash pad towards your enrollment into the Masterful CEO School. So you're going to get both of them for the price of entry into the Masterful CEO School. I want to take away all of the confusion and objections in your brain. And if you're someone who's procrastinating investing in yourself because you're like, oh, I'm not sure which one it is, now we've taken that off the table. You deserve to be feeling calm and in control of your business. And let's get that now. Okay. So if you're ready to start monetizing or consistently monetizing your great idea, sign up for the splash pad today. You can go to sincerelyfutureyou.com. We kick off on June 21st, but it is available to buy today. And anyone who buys the splash pad, this course and this community that you're going to get between June 1st and June 21st, you're also going to get a bonus call with me in the whole group. And we're going to take you through your offer. I'm going to do some coaching right there and some deep diving. You're not going to want to miss this. So remember, investing only works if you're clear about one thing. The result future you is collecting. What is it? How likely is it that the investment will return? What is the risk? How can you mitigate that risk? Are you committed to getting the result regardless of the obstacles? Or are you putting too much responsibility on the outside world to show up exactly as it needs to, or to whoever you hire and they have to do everything perfectly? No, the diligence and commitment is what separates investing from spending. Future you is counting on you, and it's time to show up. You've got this. I'll talk to you next week.
Hey Hapsters, if you want to learn more about today's topic, head over to whatshappening.com/podcast. That's what's happening, whatshappening.com/podcast. If you're a business owner and you're resonating with what we talk about here, what are you even doing? Come hang out with me over where the party's at on Instagram at What's Happening WJess. Again, that's happy, HAPPYNING, and book a discovery call to see if coaching is your next best step.